Hello, welcome back to Rome Total War. Today we're going to be besieging lots of towns. So as you can see, we're already besieging Byzantium. We're going to send this guy to the east to besiege Byzantium. Over in the west, we're besieging Carthago Nova, and in the south, this might take some time. Might not be able to do it on this particular episode, but we have got a pretty large force headed to the south to besiege the final town of Numidia, which is called Siwa. I say that because I'd forgotten until I clicked on it. One thing to remember is this guy brought some archer auxilia pretty late, so if we actually just don't select those and select everyone else instead, we can actually get a little bit closer to Byzantium, so we can guarantee that we can get there next turn. I am slightly worried about this because it's not the biggest force on Earth, and it would not necessarily surprise me, even though we've killed many Thracians. It would not necessarily surprise me if they had one more big army somewhere hidden in the shadows, waiting to pounce and to ruin at least one of our two sieges, but we might as well give it a go and just see how it plays out. Before I forget, I was also going to destroy the shrine to Ares so that we can replace it with a more useful Roman shrine. I haven't decided which. I'm kind of tempted by the shrine to Vulcan. This is a minor city, so we can't necessarily have the best unit recruitment here, so I guess we'll play it safe with the shrine to Saturn. Best option against potential future public order problems. And we can't really recruit any units here anymore because we just don't have the population space, so I need to think about what else we might recruit instead. Before we do that, let's go over to Syracuse, and over in Syracuse I'm going to recruit another Corvus Cinquerim, which is very expensive, but I think worth it because we need to start ferrying units between Carthage and Capua, ready for a potential civil war, and I think we also should send... They're also young. Caius Probus, I think. He's a drill master, so he's got low morale, and he's a pretty good manager. I would actually like to send him all the way over to Crete, just to serve as governor there, kind of for the rest of his life. And the reason for that is that we can potentially use him to occasionally pick up extra Cretan archers from time to time, which is going to be helpful for the rest of the campaign. We've still got 12k in the bank, so let's go ahead and splash most of that. This place is already building. It's doing okay actually on public order. It's got a very high tax rate. Obviously, it would be nice to be able to drop the daily games and races to something less taxing, but I'm pretty tempted just to see how far we can go with building various barracks. On the other hand, if we go for the Pantheon, that's an extra experience, I think. Just one experience for all of our units. I would actually like to compare this, because if it's just one extra experience, it's maybe not necessarily worth spending 6,400 denarii, but if it's extra weapons and armor upgrades, it might be. Looks like it's mostly actually just the public order bonus thanks to law, which actually should also improve our income by reducing corruption. So it's not necessarily that bad. Takes 6 turns to build, bit long. Armor probably makes more sense in the short term, so let's go for that instead. And let's retrain the units we're actually going to send to battle. And now we just have the 8k left in the bank. Once again in Corduba, we're going to probably just recruit some peasants just to tide things over that little bit more. Captain Herennius is going to go, I think, in this direction. There might be something hidden here. We haven't been here in a while, but looks all clear. Scalabus is almost never available to do anything in, and that has not changed. Although we can recruit Roman Cav. That's kind of tempting. Let's go for it. And we can do the same thing in Asturica. Nothing too great to recruit here, so I think Roman Cav makes sense. And we can't really build anything else. Over in Capua, let's just check this place is busy, which it is, that's good. Masana's busy. Can't really recruit too much of use there. This place is busy, I think, although we can actually build something. So the Pantheon will enable us to build the, I don't know how to pronounce this, Deceri? I think? Deceri? I don't know. And that's pretty tempting. That would be good. That's got to be the strongest naval unit in the game. Do we really need it though? Probably not. The market is also very tempting. That is, as we have discussed in previous parts, always a prerequisite to various other useful buildings. I can't remember which. Blacksmith just needs the trader, so we've got that. Academy, arena, and so on all require the market, so let's go ahead and get that out of the way. And I don't know if I should say this. I don't want to put people off. I don't know if there's going to be much fighting in this part, because it depends if they actually come to fight us while we're besieging them or not. I'm pretty keen on just starving them out. In Cirta, I would quite like to go for the awesome Temple of Saturn just to keep them happy. And that only leaves us with 3,300 left to spend, so let's spend some, as always, on Legionary Cohorts over in Corinth. And actually, this looks like it would have been a better place to splash some of this cash, but the choice has been made to build elsewhere. Large Temple of Saturn in Larissa is a maybe. Can definitely bump up the tax here. That should work. And let's go ahead and recruit some Roman Cav, and then I think we'll just round it off with a shrine to Saturn. Now, is there anything else we need to be doing? I can't think of much. I did consider maybe sending this force separately to the rest of our forces to the north. I also seriously considered just assaulting Carthago Nova, but then I realised I don't actually have any archers whatsoever, and I think we would kind of need those to actually wear down this garrison, so I don't think we'll be doing that. I'm still kind of tempted to go north. Suppose I've got this spy here just to check out what's going on. As we can see, there's a new Spanish faction leader. He's not too heavily defended, but still tough to deal with if we're only going at him with just a captain. Lots of infantry, not really the ideal type of unit for taking on a faction leader. Probably got a pretty big guard with him, and it's going to be quite annoying to fight. On the other hand, it could be done, I'm not sure. It's risky. This is not risky. If we just stay here, we'll definitely take Carthago Nova. Very cavalry-based force, this, and potentially could be overwhelmed. I think we should just play it safe, to be honest. Let's just keep these guys grouped up, and that way we will 100% take Carthago Nova, and we'll be able to pretty safely push on Oscar, maybe even Numantia, and just send a smaller breakaway force to Oscar. But I'm going to go ahead and just risk ending the turn there, as we can see that we have not entirely moved our forces, and there are a few military units just kind of waiting on the boat there, which we should probably send somewhere, but now we know. Okay. Not sure what was going on there. Failed the Senate mission, don't really care about that. Fairly happy to just annoy the Senate at this point. We are pretty close to the point where we can declare civil war. Still got 12k in the bank, so that's fine. Okay, now that is an interesting development. The House of Brutii actually doing something to us that resembles active hostility. Unexpected, but an interesting development, definitely. Okay, I think it's good news that this guy has parked himself here. Hopefully we can just fight him. I'm kind of surprised he came over here. I guess they don't have a spy or anything to keep an eye on all this. If we hit him, there's a chance he just goes rushing back to Byzantium, which would not be an ideal outcome. On the other hand, we can probably deal with it anyway, I think. If we tried to loop round him, it wouldn't really work, so I think we do just have to try and go through him. And just in case he does try and fight us, I'm going to send the archers up to back us up once again. He pulls back. He doesn't actually pull back all the way, so that's perfect. We can actually take the fight, and it looks like we will actually be doing a fight in this part. It's going to be a pretty easy one, but let's just go ahead and do it. Try and keep the losses to a minimum. Okay, gotta be honest, didn't expect quite so many trees here. I didn't think we were in the middle of a forest or anything like that, but that's gonna make this slightly less comfortable. Doesn't look like they're doing a great job of hiding, so we should just be able to push towards them. I can't remember exactly what they have, but they do have phalanx pikemen, peltasts, and some kind of militia cav, I believe. Yeah, militia cav. So they have got some ranged units. We could try and charge into them, but I think the phalanx pikeman is hidden there, so we need to be a bit careful with that. And I think, similar to the previous fight we did with this force, I think we're going to be best off relying on our ranged units. If we can draw the peltasts and the militia cav out, that would be fine. Actually pretty tempted just to make a runner for them. If they do try to charge us down with their militia cav, we can catch them out pretty quickly. And we should get quite a few relatively easy kills here. They will be able to kill us off very quickly with their peltasts if they can land a few shots, but we might be able to catch them out with the cav. And in fact, no real downside to just speeding up here, as we can see they have now revealed themselves at the front there. And they're going to start marching towards us. That's fine. Let's put all these guys on fire at will stance, and we'll be able to shower them with peeler as soon as they get near us. And right now we're just too far away for the peltasts to actually come towards us, so it's going to be pretty easy kills, I think. We are going up against their shields, so not going to get as many kills as we would like, but they are undoubtedly going to get worn down, and you can see their numbers are dropping pretty quickly. And they might not even make it all the way, as it looks like they're actually going to try and chase down the cav, which is completely fine. Just going to slow them down, as these guys are now, I think, coming towards us to take us on. We'll see. If we can just catch them out somewhere where they're not going to be backed up by the phalanx pikemen, that's going to be fine. Looks like they're not too willing to commit just yet. As you can see, they have now turned their backs to us, and they are dropping like flies. Already lost about a quarter of their number. And we can pretty much just wait and let them slowly be withered down. I did expect the ranged units to step it up and come towards us, because right now they are all just sitting ducks. But looks like they are just going to give us some very easy kills, so that's perfect. We've already pretty much taken out their phalanx pikemen, and we can just speed this up, I think, and just wait for their numbers to drop, which they are very quickly. We're also training up our archers as we do this, as it looks like they have, well, they considered springing into life, but no, they're just going to let themselves get shot. Surprised they're doing this. They do have ranged units, but that's all fine. We've still got loads of ammo left, so we can afford to just keep doing this. And I don't want to take the temptation to get any closer, even though we would land more shots, because there's no point putting ourselves in range of the peltast if we don't have to. If we can clear out the phalanx pikeman unit, then we're pretty much free just to charge in with our cavalry and finish him off. Or we can just keep using the archers. Would this ever happen in real life? I'm gonna say no. There's very few left now. They have just stood there and let themselves be killed. The idea, obviously, in the kind of gameplay context, is that these guys are exhausted and they can't march any further. But there we go, they finally sprung to life when they're too weak to actually do anything. And we can literally just start using flaming ammo, and I'm pretty sure they'll just rout. Not much left of them anyway. And so we have actually spent all of our ammo. I'm kind of surprised by that. They are hanging on for now. Surprised they have that much morale. That's fine, we're going to charge in with our general and the rest of the cavalry, and hopefully rout the militia cav as soon as possible. Not at all worried about the peltasts, but the militia cav could be slightly annoying in some ways, as they're only shaken, they're not even wavering. So they're going to hang on to the very end, I think. No, they're gone. Okay, fine. General's actually disobeyed us and gone for the phalanx pikemen instead. That's okay. We'll take a few losses, I think, against the peltasts, but that's fine. We've routed them, and we're going to need to try and chase down the militia cav. because they will get pretty easy kills against us, as they are actually going to take us on in hand-to-hand fighting. We've hit them with 2 units at once, so they're going to break very quickly. And we will just mop them up. And these guys to clean up the peltasts. And the 2 final phalanx pikemen. Perfect, so we lost 4 guys. In fact, just 3 guys. I think one of them must have recovered. I meant to do this last time we did a big fight with our archers. I wanted to see who actually gets the most kills and if the Thracian archers really are that far ahead. And it looks like they kind of are, but they only got about 20% more kills than the Archer Auxilia, so it's not like the Archer Auxilia are bad units by any means. They're still very good archers as well, but obviously Thracian archers, there are not many units in the game that are more effective from range. And unless they have something to the north, we have a pretty free hit on Byzantium here. They do have a family member in there, that's going to make things slightly tougher. I don't know if he's just appeared or what. They've got Bastarnae, who are... I know they have 2 HP, I don't know if they have great stats. I think they are one of the better, well definitely one of the better Thracian units. Phalanx pikemen, as before, we can just shower them with ammo. And then Greek cavalry are pretty crappy. But we don't have any anti-cav, so not necessarily as easy as it looks. Still, I think we can actually go for that one. Don't think we have to starve it out. Looks like we can't make it, but we can. We can just separate ourselves from that final unit of archers. Do we want 2 siege towers or a ram? My rams don't tend to work very well. I will add one to the queue just in case. And I'm going to send the diplomat to the north, just to see if we can spot some kind of Thracian relief force. Doesn't look like we can. We found Tylus, also pretty weakly defended, so it looks like they are pretty low, and they don't have too much left to actually stop us with. If I actually interact with them, does that reveal anything more of what they have in here? Don't get me wrong, I knew they wouldn't accept, but we can see that there is some guy called Xylas the Cunning, and I'm pretty tempted just to have a go at killing him. No? Apparently we can't. Well, we know he's in there, so I don't know what the game's playing at. We have a second assassin. Which one is the good one? We have a good one and a bad one. This one's the bad one. He doesn't have too much to be doing. I could actually send him towards the Thracian, not the Thracians, the Brutii, and just start attempting to get some easy kills. Titus the Mad, that's an interesting one. Just a family member, nothing special. And there's the Factionaire, who is not actually that much harder to kill, although still pretty unlikely to be a workable target. Kind of tempted now. Who shall die this day? See what we can do with our stronger assassin. 25%, or well, a 23% chance of killing the Factionaire would be very nice. He's 48 years old, so wouldn't necessarily... I think we could fight him. It's not going to be too long till we go for a civil war against them. The Brutii are, by the way, definitely going to be much easier than the Julii. I think we've pretty much completely impeded the Brutii's progress with our various attacks on Thrace, and they don't really have anywhere to expand into. But as you can see, the Julii are just completely unstoppable at this point, and they're going to be an extremely tough foe to try and fight. I'm going to send the assassin, the weaker assassin, up towards Tylus. See if he can reveal anything by getting closer. Doesn't look like he can. I think we need to send a spy up here, I think. We don't have one in this town. Okay. Before we forget, let's take our extra army and let's decide where we need it. So I don't think we're going to need it to take on what's left of Thrace. Could send it to the south to back up Cyrene and to serve as kind of bulwark against the Egyptians. I think I quite like that idea. Play it safe. We have underestimated the Numidians at least once. Right, what can we do with this? I think we need to fuse some of these units together. So these guys fuse with these guys, and then we can fuse them again. Did cause them to lose their upgrades, but never mind. I think if we fuse the 2 mercenary hoplites we will lose a few units, so it might stop us from doing that. And I can't see anything else too obvious that we can fuse together. That's still not enough apparently, but fine, whatever. Let's just drop as many of these guys in as we can. And should be able to drop off this next guy just somewhere else that's not the town, that's fine. We also have a spy, and this guy is going to try and figure out exactly what we're going to be up against when we go to fight the Numidians. Can't remember what this guy's doing. Bringing a couple more units, okay, that's fine. Could actually just fuse them all together, but no, I think we'll send them separately. And those will arrive next turn, and we should have a pretty decent force there going to finish off the Numidians. Pretty sure they can do it. Not underestimating them quite as much as before. Can retrain lots of units here, don't think we will. We will, however, build some kind of building. Arena is always a good option. You don't have to pay for the lowest tier of entertainment, so that is worth doing. Over here, let's go ahead and recruit some more Archer Auxilia. We've already proven how good those are. And, as usual, just going to keep recruiting the legionary cohorts. Although, actually, we're going to be using this town quite a lot to attack with. Let's do another comparison. So the Awesome Temple of Vulcan gives us +1 to 3 different types of weapons. Large Temple of Vulcan does the exact same thing, so the Awesome Temple of Vulcan would just give us an extra 1 experience on every unit we build, plus a little bit of public order, but not much. Is that worth going for? It's only 3,200. The town is reasonably happy. I think I will go for it. And let's keep building everywhere else as well. So in Sparta, let's go with the... nothing. I don't think anything's actually worth building there. Army Barracks lets us build the Legionary Cohort. That is always useful. Let's go for the market though. We've already established that that is a good thing to have. And over here, I'm still not massively sold on Legionary Cav. Doesn't look like we can actually upgrade anything in here for now though. So we're stuck with them as our best option in terms of Cav. I think I will go for the market. In Larissa we're building, Thessalonica we're building, can recruit. Could recruit some Roman Cav, so let's do it. And Capua must be done now with the Praetorian cohort, so we're going to go ahead and queue another one of those up and just keep them coming. I think Carthage is also done, which it is. So let's get another Praetorian cohort there. Thapsus can build some kind of building. I'm not sure about this one. We'll come back to it. Corduba is more important, it's on the front line, so let's get some kind of unit. Let's go with... once again, we're just going to go with peasants. Because we're already building scouts, cavalry elsewhere. So, how are these guys doing? Have they lost some of their forces? So they've lost about 8 soldiers per unit. That's not much. But we'll keep starving them out. 4k left in the bank, let's just go ahead and splash it on something. So Thapsus, we were considering doing something, let's go ahead. Let's go with highways. Lilybium, we can build the blacksmith potentially. Still got a Carthaginian wooden palisade there. So we could potentially drop the culture penalty pretty easily. I was also considering the guy in Lepsus Magna, whose name I forget. I keep forgetting he exists. He's 42 years old. He's a fairly decent commander. He's got Drill Master, which I don't really like, but at least means you can move pretty fast. Improves public order a lot as well. Pretty tempted just to send him to the east. Just how bad will things get in Lepsus Magna if we take a step out of the town? Pretty bad. But we can recruit some peasants to make up for it, so I think that's worth doing. And yeah, I am going to send this guy just to kind of help us out against the Numidians. Plus he can recruit some mercenaries if we need them. So let's do it. Faction announcements. Crispina has died. I don't know who that is. A couple of other new people too. Priest of Saturn for Cassius Sextus, don't know who that is. Let's check. The guy in Scalibus, okay. He's actually a pretty good moneymaker. Perhaps we could send him down to Corduba, where Marcus Aurelius currently is. I think that actually makes sense. I don't normally bother swapping governors around, but in this case, I think that does make sense, as they're not too happy about that, but we'll move them up to monthly games. We will send these over to join up with our smaller force. Faction leader has not moved, but I think he's got a couple of extra mercenaries, or at least one extra. Can't tell. This has clearly been in some kind of fight. Potentially this is the force that attacked Numantia originally. I'm surprised by this. Where did they come from? I don't know if the minimap just doesn't update, but I thought it does. They have arrived from somewhere. Looks like they're more interested in going for gold than us, which is good. I'm going to recruit some more units there just in case, to keep it safe. And this force is pretty strong, so we can use it potentially to clean up what's left of the Thracians up here. And then we'll park these in here, and we will retrain them. Or one of them. Go with a better unit. And then we have 400 left to spend. Get some more archers. And I believe we are good to end the turn. Forgot about the spy. That would be useful over in Tylus actually. Let's try and move him there next turn. As the Dacians are about to be fully wiped out. This doesn't look good. Some kind of bribe going on with our family member. Not successful, but very ominous. Is this guy really gonna... No, he's going for our family member. Oh man, don't let him succeed. This guy's really good. I think he failed. Man, okay. Blockade the port at Oscar. And we'll be given priority for an appointment to an office. I don't care about that, but we can literally do that in like 1 or 2 turns, so we might as well do it. Okay, I'm very scared for this guy. He's extremely good. Okay, he's not great, but he's got 4 command stars and he's got 2 gold chevrons. It's the gold chevrons I mostly care about. I don't want to lose those. If we were to attack his assassin with our own assassin, we are pretty much guaranteed to succeed. So let's get rid of that guy. Don't like the look of him at all. And that gets us +2 to our agent skill and an extra retinue, so he's now actually a pretty decent assassin. So that was definitely worth doing. I'm not sure where our spy went, unless he killed our spy. Surely not. He actually did. Oh, okay. No, that's a different spy. Don't know how he died. Okay, I'm slightly confused by all of this, but whatever. Awesome Temple of Vulcan is definitely worth getting. That way we can actually retrain everyone who finds themselves in Capua. Alternatively, we can go down the route of actual recruitment of something other than just constant Praetorian cohorts. I wouldn't mind going down the stables route, so let's do that. And check the end of turn report, not making as much money as we were. Okay, so are we ready to actually take Byzantium? I think it's worth just recruiting some mercenaries, just to make sure this doesn't go wrong. Okay, we can go for it. I think we should. Obviously, very famous city to besiege. Fall of Byzantium, always a historic moment, should be fun. Let's go for it. It's not going to be easy, but hopefully we can use our archers to our advantage and wear them down. Taking the walls is going to be the hardest part, but we'll see how it goes. Let's jump into it. Okay, they've actually left nobody on the walls, so that's going to make things pretty easy. We'll be able to take the walls very quickly. Greek cavalry, not at all worried about them. Although, as mentioned before, we don't actually have any anti-cav, so they could be slightly annoying to deal with. The fastest way into the town, well, it's extremely far away, which is not too surprising given that it is Byzantium. But once we're actually into the streets of the town, we should be pretty safe. I think we just need to take over this tower, and we should be pretty safe to go all the way into the center of the town. And in the center of the town, we will find... I gotta say, it's so nice to be able to actually move the camera and see exactly what we're up against. Does make the game slightly easier, but I don't think that matters too much. Just the phalanx pikemen in the town. There should be some bastane somewhere. There's the Greek cav, and I'm guessing these are the bastane. Yes, they are. Very naked looking. But they're pretty tough, so gotta be careful of them.
This is a step on the path to victory! The towers are at the walls!
Alright, let's speed this up. We shouldn't have any trouble taking this. Looks like the Bastane have actually come to fight us, but because we've taken the gates off them, they're not going to be able to do anything, and we are able just to shoot them from the gateway. Although it looks like we're not getting any kills yet, we will be taking off their hit points, which is important because they have 2 hit points. So, very useful just to be able to wear them down a bit. We're filing in with most of our units. I do need to bring in the general, but need to be careful just to make sure he doesn't get caught out by the phalanx pikemen. That's pretty much the only fight that could go badly for him, given how good his stats are. We have now opened the gates, but looks like he's not coming to attack us just yet. Don't think we can do much with our cavalry here. It's always kind of tough to maneuver them in city walls. Or in city streets, I should say. So it looks like they are now moving back towards the town square. Our archers will come in pretty soon, and hopefully we can just tuck them in behind our infantry and just wear them down. And then we just have to deal with the cavalry, and I really don't think the phalanx pikemen are going to come out from the center of the town at all. I'll actually speed this up a bit because I don't really think that the Bastane are going to come back and fight us, although if they do, we're ready. So we should actually group all of our infantry up. And looks like they actually might come for us. Okay, that's interesting. Let's make sure that we 100% have fire at will stance on. And in this case, probably won't have time to get a good charge off, so or a good shot off, so we might just have to charge in with everything we have. Try and break them with our sheer numbers. So on the front line we have just the Hastati, which is not ideal. They're going to get absolutely chopped to bits. But hopefully our units will realise that you can actually walk around each other and start flanking. I'm not sure if they will. There's no easy way around here, and as expected the Bastane are... not the Bastane, the Hastati are getting absolutely annihilated, but perhaps if we bring the general in, he will be able to encourage our units to step up a bit. And let's keep our archers as far away as we can. So now on the front line we've got our mercenaries, but mostly it is yet more Hastati, I think. Yeah, yet more Hastati, so that's not ideal. We're fighting them with definitely some of our weaker units. I wonder if it's worth trying to shoot them. Probably not. That's probably a very bad idea, as it's going to be pretty much impossible to flank them without riding all the way around the sides, and that's not very practical, so let's not entertain the idea. We will win this fight, but we're going to take some losses. I could try and pull my Hastati out and let someone else take the front line and be the vanguard, but it wouldn't really go any better for them either. We would just end up taking loads of losses as we attempt to flee. As we've actually broken them. I'm surprised by that. I think that is just the fact of having sheer numbers, and the AI, in its classic way, but this time not at our expense, does attempt to route the most stupid route possible through its opponents, namely us. So we've completely destroyed that unit with less trouble than I expected, so that's great. We can now move up with our surviving infantry, and we're going to try and form a block on the edge of the town square. That's the fastest way in. Looks like we do have to go this way. Let's try and send everyone at once. Actually pretty tempted just to leave the Hastati behind because they're not very good, to be honest. Then again, it's all going to help. And more than happy to send in the Thracian mercenaries, which I don't know if they're even very good. They look exactly the same as Bastani, but they have far worse stats, so don't be fooled by their appearance. They're pretty bad, and if they die it doesn't really matter. Okay, so one pretty bad thing I forgot about is they do have a general here who is going to be much harder to deal with than the rest. I might have to send in my own just to fight these off, as some of my archers have managed to get ahead of the infantry, which means they're in serious trouble, and we're going to have to try and pull them out if we can, as this is looking kind of dangerous. We have got some decent infantry in there. We've got an early legionary cohort just to take on the Greek cav, but they are bringing in their general's armoured bodyguard as well, and that's going to be a lot harder to deal with. So we're going to rally our troops. We're throwing up our own men. We're going to rally our troops, so we can see the general there. He does go up on his horse's hind legs, and hopefully that will tuck him in slightly further behind the rest of our units and lower that risk of getting caught out and killed by the rival general. This is not ideal. It's a little bit risky. Perhaps just this once we can actually try and look for the man himself. There he is, he's right on the front. Okay, that's really not what I wanted to see, but if I try and pull him out, he could get killed. We can just rout them somehow. We've broken the Greek cav. They're wavering. General's armoured bodyguard is wavering. I don't think we've actually lost anyone yet, so our leader should have a couple more hit points than the rest as well. Starting to lose a few. They are wavering, and their numbers are dropping very quickly. It's definitely in our favour, but it's just that little bit risky. We can see him right there. Still alive. For some reason just goes charging through them and is now surrounded. Don't know why it has to be him. Although actually we've routed him, so perfect. I'm not going to risk him anymore. I think we've risked him enough, as unfortunately they do of course immediately regain their morale. So we just have to try and break them again.
The enemy general is slain, and now his men fear us.
Okay.
It is time to press the
Let's see if we can get out without actually having to do any more fighting, and we'll leave the rest to our infantry, who should be more than capable of dealing with their falling numbers. As they are now coming in with the phalanx pikemen. This is not ideal. I think we just have to try and surround them with everything we have. Let's see if we can run these around. So seems like we would almost certainly take quite a few losses for doing that. But yeah, we're just going to try and attack this with everything we have at once. Unfortunately they are in the town square, so they're going to have good morale, but they're not currently in phalanx formation, so hopefully we can get quite a few easy kills while we're here. I think our numbers are dropping slightly faster than theirs, but everyone is tasked to fight this unit, so we should be okay. We're about to throw some peeler. Let's hope we get some easy kills. We've got a few, but I think our numbers are dropping slightly faster than theirs. Anything to be done here is just to grind it out and hope for the best. Don't think we're really going to be able to use our archers without pulling everything out, and I think at this point better off just running them down and wearing them out. Definitely winning the fight now, and haven't taken too many losses. It's not been so bad, and definitely worth it to be able to push on Tylus nice and early without having to start out Byzantium, which would have taken a very long time. So perfect, we have taken it. Wasn't too bad either. Didn't take too many losses. So we've now taken one of the biggest cities in the game, and as usual we're going to have to exterminate it, which is going to give us a nice little boost to our income, but also great just to have the city itself. It's going to be able to produce quite a few units, I think. Pretty sure it has good buildings. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's got an army barracks, it's got cavalry stables and a practice range, so not amazing, but we can get an immediate 16,000 denarii for exterminating it. It's still not happy, but that's because it's got such a massive population, and we can immediately recruit legionary cohorts from here, so yeah, it's a very strong, very useful city to have. And I think we have done enough for this part, so thanks for watching guys, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.